Our push with Arnab, only on Times Now.
Spectacular show at Rajpath as India celebrates the 66th Republic Day. US President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama, the guests of honor. For the first time on Republic Day, India's Fear's MiG-29K fighter jet and multi-barrel rocket launcher on display. It's another first. Women marching contingents from all three services march past our president and special guest at the Rajpath. Major Mukund Vardarajan and Naik Neeraj Kumar Singh, who laid down their lives for the nation, honoured with top Gallantry Award, the Ashok Chakra. Republic Day with Barack Obama have our neighbours jittery. Now it's an envious China who's attempted to play down India's diplomatic win. And in his final official engagement for the day, President Barack Obama will meet top Indian CEOs towards the afternoon today. First up, some politics around the Republic Day parade and the tableaus that were on display after the celebrations. Now Trinamool Congress has cried foul. Derek O'Brien says the Bengal tableau for Republic Day depicting Kanya Shri initiative was not allowed despite repeated requests. Sambit joins us with more details. Yes, Sambit.
Yes, Mamata Banerjee wanted her paid project Kanyasri to be projected in the Republic Day tableau, and that is how they had prepared this tableau on behalf of the West Bengal government. But the union government the concerned department had told the West Bengal government that they cannot project any particular project.
Sambit, just stay on. I think we've got a reaction from Derek O'Brien coming in.
We're also sad. I'll tell you the background. The Bengal tableau, the theme of the Bengal tableau was the unique Kanya Shri scheme, which has already benefited 10 lakh young girls. And now the UN is partnering the scheme, the Kanya Shri scheme. It's a very successful, path-breaking initiative. So when we gave the concept, it was rejected. We also made several requests, but it still was not approved. So that's why Bengal was not represented today, because we really wanted to depict the Kanya Shri scheme because it was a unique scheme affecting so many girls, and it's sad, but life goes on.
But why they are doing this thing, sir?
That you'll have to ask the government, and you'll have to ask the central government as to why this unique tableau of Kanya Shri. And there's so much of talk about girls and empowering girls, and this is what Mamata Di has done in Bengal as the Chief Minister. So we really wanted to showcase this because it's already been showcased in the world. The UN is also partnering with us. So we are very sad, we're very disappointed, but life goes on.
Sad, disappointed, but life goes on. Trinamool Congress alleging that their initiative on the theme on women empowerment, on the Kanya Shri initiative, was rejected by the government. We're standing by for a reaction from the government or from the BJP on why the rejection. But let's go across to Padmaja now to understand what's happening as far as President Barack Obama's itinerary for the day is concerned. Padmaja, we're given to understand that he has a bit of a rest till about 3 p.m. this afternoon.
That's right, and after that will be a series of business meetings. In fact, the CEO's meeting is going to be jointly addressed by the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, and Barack Obama both. Now, a lot of high-profile names are a part of both sides, delegations from both sides. On our side, we've got the Ambani brothers, we've got Mr. Gautam Adani. From their side, we've got Indra Nooyi of PepsiCo, and some serious business is going to be talked about over here. In the recent past, we've seen a huge push from the Indian government towards the Make in India initiative. So India's aim at this point is to try and get in as much investment as possible from America, especially in the manufacturing sector, Anand.
Is there also going to be the counter initiative, US inviting more Indians to invest in India, because FDI outflows into US from India are also close to 17 billion. 68 companies so far have invested about 17 billion, and we are among the fastest growing investors in the US.
Well, that's right. In fact, bilateral trade is going to be discussed extensively, Anand. But the other thing that India is going to focus on is how social security schemes discriminate against Indian nationals who are working in the United States, and that is something that has been spoken about extensively as well. When the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was held, this was a concern that was highlighted. So it's likely that it's going to be taken up with not just the U.S. business delegation, but also with the U.S. President himself.
Well, the visa on arrival for U.S. citizens are also starting from 2016. That initiative, deliberations on that too, Padmaja. But we've also got more news coming in. Some of our neighbours are getting a little jittery. Well, we talk about that with our guests, with our panelists at this point. Major General G.D. Bakshi, Maruf Raza, Brahmachalani stays on with us. Jaiveer Shergill, Advocate Supreme Court and media panelist of the Congress Party, also joins us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Jaiveer. Anand Narasimhan on this side. We are also standing by for Advocate Aman Sinha to join us, and Rajiv Dogra, former diplomat, also with us in the Delhi studio. This entire reaction by China, Maruf, how would you want to read into it? They say it's not, it's eyewash. This US-India bonhomie, this Modi-Obama, the Nam-Obama chemistry that we are seeing is all bonhomie, is all hogwash, because there are serious issues where differences still lie.
See, my understanding is that China has worked very hard over the last several decades to try and keep India limited to the subcontinent. And whether it's its string of pearls strategy, whether it's arming and building up Pakistan as another sort of North Korea-like military proxy against India. Pakistan's nuclear program is China's nuclear program in Pakistan. Pakistan's missile program is all given by North Korea and China. There are other financial support and infrastructure investment China is giving. China wants to keep up pressure on India on the border dispute, but doesn't want to move forward on that. So quite clearly it does not wish, it sees and it understands that India is one of the countries in Asia which can give China in the long run a run for its money. It's going to take a while, but India is on the path to do that. With America's support, India could do it much faster. More importantly, the shadow of China, which is in Southeast Asia and in the waters of the South China Sea, which makes the countries there very nervous of China's intent. And many of them are standing up and openly coming out against China, Vietnam most specifically. India is being seen by those countries as a partner and an alternative to Chinese dominance. India has begun to once again look east after Narasimha Rao initiated the Look East policy. And with again America seeing India an important part of its rebalancing of forces and pivoting of its forces in Asia, largely to counter China's dominance, all this obviously unsettles China. And China is watching the space very clearly in terms of what are the pronouncements that are coming out vis-a-vis US and India, what are the long-term strategies, what are the engagements, and what is the support that India could hope to get from the US, just in as much as Japanese muscle flexing remains something that Japan has been able to do to a little extent by the support it gets from the US, not entirely. Japan's pretty capable on its own. So all that put together, the diamond of countries that is being formed, Japan, India, Australia, US, as a counter to Chinese dominance. So therefore, China is obviously not going to respond very happily to that. And we should be prepared for that. But as has been said before by the lady from the Congress, that let us look beyond Pakistan. Let us not preoccupy ourselves with every hiccup that happens in Pakistan. Let us look for a bigger role in India. And, you know, envy is the price that success and distinction must pay. And India must be prepared for that price and must be willing to counter efforts of countries like China when it wants to sort of limit our growth and limit our long-term rise as a power in the world. And that is what worries China. And I mean, we should take it with a sense of alertness, but just move on.
True. Maruf, before I go across to Rajiv Dogra, let's also take a listen to what Ashley Tellis, Senior Associate of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, had to say on the entire matter.
First, I think we do see China as an emerging strategic competitor. We also recognize that we cannot contain China in a way that we contained the Soviet Union. And when one talks of balancing, India becomes a natural partner for the United States in this effort.
Rajiv Dogra, your take on this tightrope that India has to walk, manage China, the chemistry with President Xi and Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad, now the Namo-Bama chemistry being talked about. How is India going to milk this association and balance this diplomatic tightrope?
Well, let me try and put it in a different perspective. First of all, China-US relationship is important. And that's a fact of life. People even talk of G2, that means US-China. Whether that's a reality so far or not is a different issue. I don't think it's a reality like in old days of US-Soviet Union. Second, US and China have huge stakes in each other. China has invested hugely in US bonds, and their trade, bilateral trade, exceeds $500 billion. The US industry is present in a major way in China. So all these cannot be wished away, and China knows that. So that is why a slightly skeptical reaction from China. China also knows that India is not prepared in a strategic sense to take it on in the next foreseeable future. But at the same time, China, Pakistan and others who are interested would be watching this visit very closely, because this augurs well in many ways for Indo-American relationship. The third thing is that China would find a visit by US to India or a reciprocal visit from India to US in a skeptical way, because China's relationship with the outside world is only at one level, that is at the level of leadership, because it is a semi-dictatorship. Whereas in India-America case, it's a thriving democracy on both ends which is at work. It's not just the leaders. Leaders are hugely important, but it's not just the leaders who are interacting. The people, the media, they are being critical, they are being involved, and they can be obstructive and they can be positive. So it's a relationship which goes beyond a unitary direction. So I think it's a process, as Obama put it, and it's a process where we'll have to wait for time and patience to take its course. But as far as democracies are concerned, I think people on both sides are committed, and now the leadership seems to be committed.
Yes, and that leadership, the chemistry commitment between the leadership, very, very evident. Advocate Aman Sinha, good afternoon. Jaiveer, appreciate your patience. Just quickly going across to Aman Sinha first up. Quick on the aside, we are talking about China getting nervous and jittery and what our neighbors think about this Namo-Bama bonhomie. But a quick aside, Derek O'Brien is a little miffed. He believes Bengal was not given a chance to display their Kanya Shri themed tableau. Would the government want to respond?
No, Anand, first of all, very happy Republic Day to you all panelists and all viewers of the Times Now. And as far as this, Mr. O'Brien's statement is concerned, I'm not aware of the details, and these things are planned much in advance, and I'm sure the government of India is much too keen to display, the tableau of all these states, and if the proposal came on time, I'm sure they would have been extremely keen to, put it on display. But let me add, Anand, that what a remarkable display, splendid display of India's prowess and diversity on Rajpath today, and it was witnessed by President Barack Obama and the whole world. And I feel that, there is no such parade which can parallel, the Republic Day parade that we have. And it's a feeling of great pride for all Indians.
Yes, it is a feeling of great pride. And Jaiveer, would you agree that it's a many firsts? We put out the BrahMos missile, the MiG-29K fighters, the all-women contingents of all the three forces. That was a first. And of course, Barack Obama as a special guest of honor, US President as a guest of honor at the Republic Day. That is also a first. Would you want to credit this government with a huge win, a diplomatic one?
Anand, first things first, today is not a day of allegations, accusations. Today is a day of celebration. So we have entire year left for allegations and accusations. Let's celebrate Republic Day. Second, of course, it is a day of great pride and honor for both India and US, having Mr. Barack Obama as our chief guest, and this will only further and strengthen the relationship. Number three, what we are seeing today, the India and US relationship, is the result and outcome of many years of understanding and dialogue, and I think the present Prime Minister and also the past Prime Minister, especially Mr. Narasimha Rao, Mr. Vajpayee and Manmohan Singh, deserve equal acknowledgement and achievement. Now coming specifically to the Republic Day and many first, as you were saying, of course, especially the Nari Shakti theme is a great and outstanding way of acknowledging and giving a booster to women empowerment. Fifth, it is also a gentle reminder, Republic Day parade, and reflective of India's achievements in the past since independence. It is a reminder that unity in diversity is the mantra of India's success story, and the government should work towards maintaining this unity, and so that we are on the right track. A lot of promises were made during the Indo-US this particular summit. It is the duty of both the governments to ensure these promises take certain concrete shapes. And finally, we are glad that BJP government, or rather the NDA government, has realized the full potential of the Indo-US nuclear deal, which they were opposing tooth and nail, because frankly, nuclear power energy is the future, and there is no way India should not be a part of this future, and I am glad this deal has gone through, though Prime Minister is yet to clarify the exact understanding and undertaking given to the US as far as liability clause are concerned, so that our citizens' rights to compensation are not entangled in the web of law.
Which has been the Congress's curiosity all along. How did you crack it? What is it that you have done? What is it you have given that the US has ceded its ground as far as the tracking clause is